And welcome back to the Renegade Report. I'm Greg Kerr, joined by BC football coach Jeff Chudy. As we were talking offense last segment, now we're going to turn our attention to defense. And after all, Jeff, you're a defensive guy anyway, right? That's your DNA.
Well, yeah, pretty much. Although I did play quarterback in high school, but my
Yeah.
dad was a head coach, so what do you do?
Well, with this quarterback battle going on, where would you stack up with the four guys that you got going?
Hey, I was a defensive player in college, so
okay, exactly.
That tells the answer right there.
All right, well, let's talk about defense, and let's begin with the defensive line. Where are you right there?
We got a lot of guys that are learning how to play. It's a tough position to play. You got to have some toughness there. You got to have some quickness. That's the challenge, is getting those guys to be able to grind it out, keep bodies off our linebackers, and get penetration and put some pressure on the quarterback. So, I like the group as a nucleus as a whole. I think at the end of the day, as we get going, as the season progresses, I think that could be one of the better groups that we have from a talent perspective. We still, we're making some mental mistakes up front that we got to get better. We got to correct those things.
Anybody stand out in particular right now?
He's like we consider him a backer really, but Jojo Hurtado from Liberty, he's really a quick off the edge guy. He's pretty fun to watch. Rest of quarterback. Our guys are grinding it out inside. Lejander and Jack Hammond from Ridgecrest and Dominic Banks and Michael Hannum, and those guys are all, got a kid Matt Sipe, who hadn't played in a couple of years. They're all, getting better every day. At the end of the day, if we can get things on the same page, we got a chance to be pretty decent. Garrett Brown's a guy that played for us a lot last year. So I think, as the season progresses, they're going to get better and better and better.
That's a position where another team can just take your will away if they want to run the ball down your throat and whatnot. But you got a team that wants to throw the ball against you a lot this Saturday. What about the D-line knowing that, up-tempo, throw the ball a lot?
Well,
what about that?
I think, they've got a running back that was a 900-yard rusher. So, the thing that you don't know is what are they going to come out in personnel groups. We know we're going to see a lot of different personnel groups. But I can tell you we're going to have to be able to stop the run. If we can hold those guys to less than 120 yards rushing, then that speaks – things are probably going to work out pretty good for us, to be honest with you. But we got to be able to stop the run. Funny that you think that, that I would say that, but I think they've got some big guys up front, and you watch them play, and they're going to have some talented monsters up front on the O-line, and they've supposedly got two really big tight ends that were bounce-back transfers, one from SC and another kid from San Diego State. So, having said that, those guys up front have their work cut out for them.
All right, so let's talk about your linebackers. Where are you there?
Linebackers are young. Green. Josh Haley is really our one guy who's an outside backer that gives leadership to the group, but they're young and green. We got Nichols inside. He's a Frontier kid. We've got Arteaga from Centennial. He's a Centennial kid. Those guys are doing well. Nieto from Liberty. All those guys are learning the game. Going to be really good players for us. But they're learning the game. There's a lot going on. Furman from South. There's a lot going on with what we're doing, and those linebackers got to think a lot. They got to play not only the run, they got to be factors in pass coverage too. So, God bless them for trying. We're putting a lot of time in the film room, I know, and Coach Bolton and Coach Thompson are grinding it out with those guys. But those guys have some talent. There's no question about that. And Watson's another kid from Ridgeview. So we got a group of guys that we like. They're just young.
Yeah.
Not a lot of experience there.
Well, the first two words out of your mouth were young and green. Yeah. Is that a concern? Are you hopeful that youthful enthusiasm will be a good thing, or maybe
it's got to be a good thing? No, we have talent there. There's no question about that. Yeah. And there's a lot, we got a lot of green guys in the sense that they've never played a college game. Yeah. But having said that, we got to play, we got to execute. This thing's about execution. So we got to minimize mental mistakes. They're a team that throws a lot of screen. And a week ago, we couldn't cover the screen. The tailback screen was killing us. And now, through a lot of agony and a lot of coaching and a lot of film work, they're starting to play the screen better. So, that's just it's one of those things that when you get out and these guys, you don't know what's going to go through their head on that first series, that first snap, and are they going to forget everything, or are they going to remember what their keys are and where their eyes are supposed to be at and go, oh, yeah. And they'll play a lot faster, and it'll be a lot easier if they do that. But, you just don't know what's going on in their head on that first couple series before they get their feet wet,
Before I get to your DBs and your safeties, are you sometimes surprised, like, you put them through all these practices and you get to your first game, live bullets as they like to call it?
Yeah.
Are you sometimes surprised by the performance of players who you thought maybe you had a concern about and you go, wow, the lights came
without a
on
doubt,
and they
yeah.
really showed up?
Yeah, no, those are the gamers are those are the guys that, the sleepers, without a doubt. No, and we're going to need a bunch of those guys to show up on Saturday. But yeah, that is that's what you hope happens, because they play so much faster. And everything that we do, whether it's offensive football or defensive football, or we're doing the special team stuff, it's all important and everything works together. It's in synchronization. And so when one guy messes it up, it could be super costly. It could be a sack. It could be a caused fumble because we let a guy run through and blast the exchange, or it could be a big return which changes field position, or it could be, unfortunately, I hate to talk about it, a big play on offense, because we didn't cover the back on screen. He stepped up and we didn't step up with him, or we went to the wrong hip on a hitch play, and the guy wheels outside and goes 80 yards down the sideline because we took a poor tackling angle.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so DBs and safeties, what your
I
thoughts
think
there?
we got a ton of talent there. I really do. We've got some really talented guys. Could be as good a group as we've had since the James McGill, Randy Jordan, Michael Hall era, where those guys all played in, BCS games, all started,
Right.
And we've got a good group. We're young in some spots, but talent-wise, we've got a chance to be pretty good if we're all on the same page. Yeah. Dominic Frash has come in and lit it up. He's really a good player. Bryson Briggs, a freshman from BHS, has done some really good things. Some guys that have played with us last year. Javondre Howington has probably looked the best out of all of our guys. He's been just light and day difference. There's a guy that's figured it out,
Right.
from his freshman year to sophomore year. He struggled as a freshman, but man, is he playing really well right now. Pat Marzette, who's a kid,
Another West Side kid.
blew his knee out just covering a kick against Fullerton, who we thought was going to be one of our best players on defense last year, is playing well at times. It's been a while since he's played. He's rusty. He hadn't really played in almost 2 years. But he's got a ton of talent. He's shown great leadership on the back end. Him and Darren, AJ from Liberty. He played a lot for us as a freshman. Troy Banks is a freshman from Frontier, and we got Keith Banks and Blanks. And I said, you know who I'm talking about, man. I was like, Keith. And we got 8 Keiths on the team, and they play in the secondary. And I say Keith, and they all look around. I'm like, oh man. But those guys have done some good things. And Khalil Ely is another kid who's done a great job. He blew his knee out too, covering a kick against. I don't know if it was a field turf at the high school, the game when we played Fullerton, but we had 2 guys blow knees out at the beginning of the game, one on the opening kickoff and the other one on an opening punt, and nobody touched him. And that was Marzette and Ely, and Ely's playing really well too. We can move him all over the place, and he's a sharp guy. So and Donald Harris done a nice job. So we got a lot of guys, a lot of local guys that are playing, all local guys, that are playing really well, and they're going to have to play lights out, Saturday. It's one of those things that they got to be able to transition it from the practice field to the game field, and if one of those guys blows up, bad angle or blows a cover, we got problems. So they got a lot on their shoulders, but I think they're up to the task. I expect great things out of them on Saturday. I'll be disappointed if they don't play at a super high level, because I think they've prepared that way, and we've got talent back there. They just need to go out and play and have some fun.
Yeah. All right. Hey, Chris, what we're going to do here, we're going to bypass Coach talking about Riverside City, because I'll use that as our trivia question. But do we have the Stan Green stuff up? All right. Show me this Stan Green. This is playing COS. I want you to watch this play. Stan Green, their quarterback right there. And he goes in for an apparent game-winning touchdown. It actually was called back because of a penalty, Jeff. But look at him get up here. He's actually, Stan is going to be speaking this week on concussions, and he knows all about them.
He looked like he took one to the right chin there.
Yeah.
Got grass coming out of his face mask.
Yeah, Stan doesn't even know where he is.
Needs some ammonia there.
There you go. Yeah.
I didn't think he was that fleet of foot when
I didn't
he
either.
played.
I didn't either.
I mean, I know they did a lot of play action, bootleg, roll pass stuff,
Yeah.
but
I thought he was more like
he did
the,
a nice
the
job
electric
on
football guy. That
yeah,
just sort of
a telephone box, telephone booth guy.
Yeah, exactly. All right, we got another trivia question for you, and here it is as we wrap up things with Coach Chudy. Last week, he mentioned that one of the teams on their schedule is the most talented team they will face this year. If you think you know the answer, like us on Bakersfield College Athletics on Facebook. Bakersfield College Athletics, 2 tickets to the first home game against Golden West. The most talented team, according to Jeff Chudy, that they will face this season. We will be right back with the man you just saw, Stan Green. See you in a moment.